Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're in the offices of the Director of First Call for Help with Linda Mills to find out more about the First Call for Help organization. Linda, if you would, first of all, describe the organization for us. What's it all about?
Well, the organization has been here since about 1996, and it was really put together out of a need that the churches saw to help people who needed assistance either financially or other resources in the community and didn't know where to turn. We run several programs, but really the heart of our organization is our information and referral and emergency financial assistance for folks who live in Ellis County, and then also emergency assistance for those who are traveling through or who get here somehow and they're homeless and they have no place to stay.
So you're actually serving not only Ellis County, but those who are, shall we say, transient, perhaps, that are coming through.
Yes, they are coming through, or they sometimes they get here and they think, oh, this is a nice community. They try to find a job and housing, but things aren't working out and they need help to get to another location or back to where their home is.
And we've heard stories, too, that sometimes people arrive in Hayes, maybe the battery on the car died, or maybe they've had some other kind of vehicle repair, or maybe a job situation didn't work out, and they just don't have the funds to move to their next opportunity.
Yes, that's correct. And so, you know, we can help them. We utilize various resources in the community. We used to be able to do more car repair than we can now, just because even a simple repair is quite expensive. But if we can help with that, we will. But oftentimes it's our assistance is given in the nature of a fuel voucher or a one-night stay in a hotel, so they can work on getting things together to be able to leave. We can also, if a person literally has no resources, we can help them get to a shelter by either providing a bus ticket or fuel.
And the nearest shelter is located where?
In Salina.
You're under the umbrella of the Ministerial Alliance, Ellis County Ministerial Alliance, right?
They are one of our biggest supporters, and I participate in their regular meetings and serve through my church on the Ellis County Ministerial Alliance board. And they are, you know, as I said, they were one of the groups, the churches, that really helped to get this organization started, and they continue to help fund the direct client assistance to be able to financially assist for those emergency needs.
Really, you take the place of the Good Samaritan.
Well, we do, but we have a lot of help doing it.
And those organizations that help out are
Yes.
many and varied. Talk about numbers of service. I think we would be amazed to know the needs that we have.
Well, I've just been working on a grant, so I have looked at those numbers again from the 2013 year. And in our local assistance, where we help the residents with either their meeting their rent responsibility or utility when an emergency has come up, we served 85 households in 2013, but of those 85 households, that really impacts 200, I believe it was 225 people. So you're talking about all the household members that are impacted because of that financial assistance, along with landlords and utility companies. You know, they're impacted as well.
And that's just in Ellis County.
And that's
over
just in Ellis
200
County.
last
Yes.
year. And then, of course, with the those who are coming through or transient, if you will, then
There were a total of 325 in 2013.
wow. I know you probably have funding issues.
We do. We are always looking for funding. We are always working on that funding picture. We have wonderful support, as I said, from ECMA, also from United Way, and the community at large. I mean, they are very generous to First Call for Help. They know, but it does take a lot to run a business or an organization, even when there are only 3 staff people here. You know, so those operational costs are a necessary evil, and we've got to pay for that too. So we try and write probably anywhere from 5 to 15 grants every year, because, you know, they don't all get funded, so you just have to keep writing them. But that is an ongoing task that I'm tasked with doing, is to keep operations going here.
Does the Kansas legislature provide any funding?
There is some housing resources that the state does have. There is a Kansas Housing Resources Corporation that gets some federal funding through the state. It comes from the federal to the state and then to this organization. And we did receive a grant from them this year that just started in July that will help us with providing some more financial assistance with housing. So.
And that would include not only the basic housing, but utilities, things like that,
Yes.
that would be included in what we normally think of as being in a home facility.
Yes, that's correct.
Talk a little bit about Backpack for Kids, which occurred last week. How about service numbers there, Linda?
In the Backpacks for Kids program, we last year put together or distributed 583 backpacks. We may have given a few more away after that was done, but we didn't. We kind of started not keeping track of it. But usually we have some left over after the distribution day. So, and I know we had a little over 500 people sign up for backpacks for their students. So. They'll be distributing those, and then anyone who didn't sign up to get a backpack, if they would just call us, we can tell them whether we have some extras that we can put together some more backpacks.
In case somebody didn't know about the program, what's involved in the Backpack for Kids program?
Well, we start, you know, backpack program happens in August, but we're working on it year-round. We write a few grants for it. We do, probably in April, we send out a letter to the community talking about, you know, we're really gearing up to start getting all of the supplies and, you know, asking for some contributions there. We contact churches and ask them to set up contribution boxes, collection boxes. We have some great sponsors like Next Tech and Eagle and Walmart and Walgreens, and we do a big collection day at these stores and Dollar General as well. And so on that day, the Next Tech folks volunteer to stand outside and hand out our supply list to the customers, and when they shop, then they can purchase those items and donate them.
And then they all come to the center here at First Call for Help, and then you have the volunteers who actually put the backpacks together there.
Yes, we've had volunteers in and out of here this summer putting together backpacks. You know, as we get more donations in, then we put some more together and get them distributed in time for school.
And once again, if a parent missed the Backpack for Kids distribution time, they can still call First Call for Help, and there might be some supplies left.
Yes, they can certainly call us. We're 623-2800.
Very important, I think, for young people to be able to start a school year with new pencils or new tablets or a new backpack, that kind of thing, because we always remember those times at school.
Yes, yep, you need those supplies.
At one time, there was an organizational meeting, and a group of people got together and discussed a survey. You sent out a survey to a lot of organizations who service the community and the county. Talk about that survey and what you found out.
Okay, well, what prompted that initially was a group who's calling itself the Hayes Housing Coalition kind of got together and decided that we would participate in the statewide homeless count. And so that was the first survey that we did. We hosted a free chili supper in the community, and we asked people to fill out our survey so that we could find out information about whether or not we had a homeless population in Hays, and how how many people were reporting as homeless. And so we did that survey, and we did find that we do have some homeless in Hays. It's not huge like Wichita or Kansas City. It doesn't look the same as Wichita or Kansas City because you don't see necessarily people sleeping under the bridge or camped out in a tent city or something like that. But the survey did report that we had about 14 people who classified themselves as literally homeless. That means they were staying somewhere that was not meant to be a habitat. And then about 24 people reported that they were staying with friends or family because they had nowhere else to go. Couldn't afford housing at that time. And they gave us several different reasons of why they were in that situation. But then the agency survey that you talked about, after we did the point-in-time count, we wanted to get some more information about the community needs in general. So we asked all of the kind of what you would consider helping agencies to tell us about what they see every day and what people are coming in asking them for. And in that survey, it really came up with several, 3 to 5 top issues that people were struggling with. And the number one issue was housing. And so we also asked a lot of other questions on there about what are the barriers to these needs that you say are most important, which were housing, transportation, medical service, employment. Those were some of the top issues. And then we looked at how those were all related to each other. So if housing was the top issue, then why? What are the barriers to getting housing? And the barriers we found out were wages, childcare, transportation, and not enough hours of employment. So in other words, part-time employment. And so then we looked at each one of those issues and asked what the barriers were to those issues. And they are all so much interrelated, because if you are working and making minimum wage and you have 2 or 3 children under the age of 5, you can't afford the child care. All of your wage goes to child care. Transportation, if you do not have a car or able to afford insurance on a car and maintenance, in order to work, you need transportation. And, we do have some limited resources in Hays for transportation, but it's difficult when there's not a scheduled route and timing and stops that people know they can just be there at a certain time, and that transportation will be there. And then, of course, the other issue was not enough hours. There's a lot of part-time employment for lesser skilled occupations, like the food industries and the motel industries and that type of thing tend to use part-time employment. And
when you're working under that limit, 30 hours per week, you're not getting insurance, you're not getting benefits.
Exactly.
And you're also trying to pay rent, which at this point may be unaffordable.
Right, and that were some of the barriers to housing, was that it was just out of reach for them. They just flat can't afford it. There's a long waiting list for the HUD vouchers, or what they call Section 8 housing. There's a sense that in the community people don't want low-income housing in their neighborhood, which we are seeing more development of apartments and things for low to moderate income, but we definitely need more. People say that all of their pay goes to child care. If something happens in their family, their child gets sick for 2 or 3 days, or maybe they get sick for 2 or 3 days, they don't have any benefits. And so you're talking about a low-wage job already, then you take take out pay for staying home for 2 days, and you can't pay your rent that month, or you can't make your car payment or pay your utilities. And so that's when we see people, is when things like that happen, or their spouse leaves, or they've lost their job and they're looking for another one. So a lot of the people, the majority of people that come in here seeking assistance are working individuals.
And something happens in their life that
Exactly.
just changes the equation completely.
Yes.
And who knows among us that we might not find ourselves in that same situation,
Yes.
barring unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, unforeseen circumstances.
Finally, in our last moment, Linda, how can we help First Call for Help?
Well, again, continue the community to continue supporting First Call for Help and the services that they provide. And I think for the community to keep their sense of compassion and knowing that their fellow man may need assistance and may be for reasons that you don't know, and don't judge too quickly. Have compassion for those folks.
Director of First Call for Help, Linda Mills, from our Community Connection. Thanks for watching.